Did I talk about Invader? Oh, did I ever mention actually that was what kicked this off. That was what kicked this off. This whole marathon was we watched Enter the Florpus because I'd never seen it before, and Kat was really surprised because I was like, obviously I love Invader Zim, and she goes like, "Oh, we should watch it," and we did, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. I don't know if I ever talked about it on this podcast, but if I did, you'll have to listen to me go through my thoughts about it again. It's really Enter the Florpus is like genuinely a really funny movie. Like, it made me realize, like, it sent me on a kick of watching old Invader Zim, not full episodes, but just like clips and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, this show is pretty funny. Like, I liked this for a reason. Oftentimes, I feel like it's unfair that oftentimes Invader Zim gets sort of stereotyped into being the lol random show, because okay, this is like the frustration is that the people who gave it the reputation for being the lol random show like didn't understand what actually makes Invader Zim funny. There is some lol random stuff with mainly like Gurr, but Gurr is like one character and he's kind of a counterbalance to the other characters in the show. Most of the humor in Invader Zim actually comes from the contrast between the different characters. That everyone is kind of stupid and a little off their rocker, and they kind of respond, but in different ways, and they like react to each other in funny ways. Like, Zim will say something that's like, "Oh, haha, funny, quirky, whatever," right? And then a character, it'll just cut to a shot of a character giving him like a dead stare. And you're like, uh-huh. Like, you're not, like, it's supposed to be dumb. but there's a lot of people who watched that and they said, oh, the funny part is that he said the funny random thing. And it's like, no, it's like that there's a 2-part joke to it. There's like a straight man and the funny man bit to a lot of Invader Zim humor. Or just like straight up like just like satire and stuff just being really fucked up and weird. Like, I still remember the fucking episode where they have to go door to door selling candy bars. But they're called, it's like a fundraiser for their school, but they're called poop bars, and they're made with like 60% sawdust. So they're like eating it, and people are like trying to enjoy them, but they're like choking on sawdust. And then in that same episode, Miss Bitters, the teacher, is like telling them like what they're gonna get, like what the prize is for who can sell the most poop bars. And she pulls out a box of Band-Aids, and I don't know if this was like so she Miss Bitters always talks like this. But when she says, she's like, you'll get this box of, and then a completely different voice comes in, and it's adhesive medical tape. And I think it might have to do with the fact that Band-Aid is actually like a name brand. And my theory on that has always been, every single time a character's like, they're going to say Band-Aid, just this voice cuts in. It's like the same voice clip every single time. And it goes, adhesive medical tape. It's like a fucking YouTube fucking shitpost. It's literally, it feels like a meme, but it's like that kind of a humor. I think it's because Band-Aid was a brand name, and my theory is that they wrote Band-Aid into the script, and then someone at Nickelodeon told them after they recorded that, wait, actually, that's a brand name, and we have to pay for the rights to it if we're going to use it. So as like instead of going back and redubbing it as a joke, I think what they did was just have someone record like this commercial voice of saying adhesive medical tape. And to this day, whenever I like get a Band-Aid, I always think of that adhesive medical tape, which I guess is the technical term for what a Band-Aid is. And then like the mascot for the poop bars is this guy is like this fucking he's like he's like a dog themed rapper who wears like a dog head. He's like a furry, but he's like, yo, 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 you kids better sell these poop bars. And then I think the way that Zim ends up selling, like, the way he tries to like get the edge and like win the fundraiser is he makes a device that like just like zaps like an image into someone's head. He basically like gives them a vision of a totalitarian world where it's basically like fucking hell, that the earth will basically turn into hell with like everyone being enslaved by aliens if they don't buy the poop bars, and just like traumatizes them into buying this product. It's like one episode. Every episode of this show is this weird fucking thing like that, and it's so goddamn funny. Enter the Florpus it definitely feels like it's a lot of the same people, or at least the same kind of like big creative voices. But you can kind of tell that it's been like, oh god, how long has it been? 20 years? Oh god, Invader Zim was like 2001. Yeah, you could tell it's been like 20 years, and Jonan Vasquez is like 45 now. Not in like a bad way, just it feels a little different. Like, it feels like, hey, it's been 20 years. We've had some developments in, like, you know, some creative developments in the way that, you know, I want to write things. You don't have the same, like, the style has evolved a little bit, but you could tell it felt very Invader Zim, if that makes sense. The animation is like, it generally holds up. I love the original Invader Zim animation is so good. Part of the reason the show had to get canceled, like one of the contributing factors, was just like the budget, like the CG budget. Like the show used way more CG than other shows, and also had like double the amount of like, I remember this detail that Invader Zim always had double the amount of their storyboards were twice the size of any other show, like twice the length, because there was so much detail in like this that Jonan wanted, and like the specific movements of the characters and the like really fine details. And it has this really like charming, like thick outline, weird kind of very square, blocky geometry kind of characters, weird kind of spindly limbs, like really cool art style. And Enter the Florpus is like a little softer. The colors are a little lighter. I think it's Flash. It's pretty well done Flash, but there's some parts where you can see like the tweening, or it's like a little too smooth. It's fine. Like, I don't mind it. And it basically also serves to be the end of the series. The effective finale of Invader Zim, which I appreciate. It's always been kind of frustrating that Invader Zim, for as great as it is, had just sort of like it got canceled like halfway into its second season, and it's like 1.5 seasons of a TV show. So like having like, there's those like unfinished scripts or like unanimated scripts basically, and all that. So like there's stuff like that floating around. But having an actual definitive like finale to the series, and it's not like, it isn't like, and then everyone dies at the end so we can never make more Invader Zim. It's not that, but it's and it's not like it's not even like, oh, every, you know, characters finish their big goals. It's just kind of like the story just ends, but it feels nice. It's like a big story where you actually get to see some of the ideas that I think they wanted to do as the series progressed. It's yeah, it's good. I really enjoyed Enter the Florpus. It's like all the characters feel very like true to who they are. It has like a big I mean, certain Invader Zim episodes could already have a pretty big, crazy, like things could get really out of hand in that show, but this at least felt like it raised the stakes to like a movie level in an appropriate way. I was consistently laughing It's really funny. The whole voice cast returns. I mean, everyone who worked on that show fucking loved it. Everyone who worked on that show loved working with each other and with Jonan. So it makes sense that they got basically everyone to return. Yeah. If you liked Invader Zim, if you liked Invader Zim, I think and you haven't seen it, I would totally recommend it. It's a great send off for the show, and I'm content with it being the send off. I'm like, okay, it's like this chapter is closed. Also, if you haven't watched Invader Zim, go check it out. It's weirdly, is it an underrated or overrated show? I can't even tell. I feel like if your impression, we were talking about bad pitches before. If your impression of Invader Zim is that it's a bunch of lol random humor and it sucks, it's really not. It's a dark comedy. It's like really like heavy, super sarcastic and satirical, and has a lot of just it feels fucked up in a good way. It's like every character is an idiot, pretty much. Every character in the show is an idiot except for Gaz, and that's kind of the joke, is that Gaz never takes or rarely takes an active role in doing anything. It's like, yeah, every character is dumb and incompetent, but in their own way, and they're like interfering with each other. It's great. It's so good. Yeah, it's one of those shows that you're like, how the fuck did this get onto Nickelodeon?